Hey everybody, Michael Besson, Raft Ministries. Last night I was awakened in the middle of the night. It was the third prophetic dream I've had in the 6 weeks. I can't even believe I'm making a video saying that to people. I have been on this planet a while. It's never happened before. And it is incredibly profound to be on this particular ride at this particular stage in my life. So why am I sharing this? Because I have a lot of friends who are wondering, and rightly so, Michael, why are you walking away from business? Well, you kind of look a little like you maybe went over a cliff. I got to tell you, I've never had more clarity. I've never been under such a sound mind in my entire life. And that's why I'm making this video. I want to share something with you. There's going to be a link below to a video of a man I'm not even crazy about. By the way, I don't mean that in a really bad way. What I mean is he's a pastor at a church that I probably wouldn't go to. He has a certain style of speaking that doesn't really appeal to me. The church, the way it looks, doesn't touch me. He could be an amazing human being. In fact, he probably is. He just doesn't float my boat and probably won't float yours, but you're going to hear why I'm putting this video there. You see, I've been talking to people on different continents 10, 20, 30 times a day. Leaders, politicians, medical experts, theologians in the United States, coast to coast. And there is a common denominator. There's kind of like two sets of people that are seeing this for what it is, the birth pains before the 7-year tribulation. Let's just get that out of the way. And people that aren't. And by the way, if you're going to get all tripped up on details, like is this post-trib and mid-trib, just let it go, man. God's looking for people with deeper waters right now to hear. For those that have ears to hear, you need to hear this. That video is a compilation of everything that I have studied about Bible prophecy, the last 40 years really, but deeply, I'm going to be very frank with you, 15 to 20 years of that period. I spent a lot of time, dozens and dozens and dozens of books, tons of study on those particular scriptures. This is not new to me. What's new to me is current events and how they tie in. I need you to listen very carefully. The reason I'm putting that there is it's part of what David Wilkerson, and maybe that's a real prophecy, maybe it isn't, don't care, what he calls the Great Awakening. So my question to you is, if you're part of the group of people that is starting to wake up, at what level are you going to wake up? Are you going to wake up like about the third day when this pandemic hit, and the Holy Spirit, which lives inside of every believer, started to tell me you're being deceived? I've become very, very attuned to that because for the last 7.5 years, I've been meditating in my heart 20 to 30 minutes at a minimum, up to 3 hours a day. It has made me more sensitive to the things of God. By the way, I'm just a dude. Sometimes I don't listen. Lately, I'm discovering there's no more room for error here. So here's what happened to me. I started to catch it early. I started to see the deception. And by the way, I think you were foolish to put kind of masks on or not take this serious. I mean, if you didn't put masks on when you first got this information. But as the reality set in and as the actual data set in, you become foolish to continue the hypnosis when you realize this is a cold or a flu. I'm not going to debate that with you. I'm going to tell you this. We are starting to experience a level of worldwide deception that is unmatched, unparalleled in human history. Last night in the middle of the night, I had a dream, and when I woke up, I found this video. I actually found a really crappy version of it. I found a good one for you. The first 35 minutes is nothing but God stuff. If you can't handle God, don't worry about it. Go to minute 35 and listen to the facts. I happen to know every single fact there and more is 100% accurate. Not one conspiracy in the mix. Chronologically, from the date to today. Secondly, I know every scripture, every single one of them, upside, downside, and side. Those are the actual scriptures for right now, 2020. And what does this have to do with you? What I'm experiencing is two groups, people that are awake, people that are still asleep. fact, I think the world hijacked that term woke to deprogram you, to hypnotize you into not being awake right now. Yeah, it's that crazy. It's that crazy. If you understand deceptions, like go watch Out of Shadows, you'll see what I'm saying. Now, here's the deal. Those of you are going to wake up in different levels and different stages. What's going to happen for some of you is not going to happen for others. And there's going to be a group of people that never wake up, and it's tragic. When you read Revelations 13, you discover the numbers of people before the 7-year tribulation and during it that die or destroyed are in the billions. It's just a matter of percentages of the Earth's population. Listen, I'm not trying to freak out. In fact, I got a lot of joy and a lot of peace about this. There's going to be 3 things happen to everybody who wakes up. You're either going to walk away from business and be called into full-time ministry. That's what happened to me. You're going to be in business, but in part-time, you're going to be doing ministry things. It's that urgent that you wake up. The third category is going to multiply resources. You're going to be blessed to make more money than you've ever made in your entire life. In the last 2 weeks, the online coaching world is going to explode. And I was really good at that for a long time. And the kings are in that world know that and offered me great opportunities. When you're called at this kind of level, you don't even think twice. My whole world has shifted. Instead of making millions, I want to reach millions. I'm telling you, there are things being done behind the scenes to rescue hundreds of millions of Christians. You don't even know it yet. I've been invited to some of those rooms and some of those people. Listen to me, listen to me. When are you going to wake up? Is it going to be when they first announced it and you heard the whisperings of God that you were being deceived? Was it a couple of weeks later when the data started to show up that it was wrong? Was it now when you know that you know that you know the facts aren't real, the warnings were a lie, and we've all been deceived? Is it going to be when they take away the money because the world's going to a digital currency? It's already gone in most of Europe, 99% as far as I understand, but 80% in Australia, and right here in the USA, it's game on. The next, there's a new addition to the Senate bill, and they're going to insert a digital currency. Listen to me. Is the next level going to be when they start to initiate the second wave? I can tell you right now, we're going to get a little glimmer of hope as we lift the restrictions, and some of you are going to be deceived and believe that this is it. We're going to be okay. It's going to be normal. Sadly, it's not. We're going to get lulled into a false sense of security, and the waves and the waves and the waves are going to keep coming. They're going to try their very best to take down America. They're going to collapse the world currency system. It's going to be replaced by a digital currency system. There's nobody going to be able to buy, sell, or trade outside of that system. And some of you are going to think, this is crazy every step of the way. Some of you are going to wake up at different increments. And when you do, let me tell you what's going to happen. I'm talking to people all over the world that this is happening to. First thing is you're going to be alarmed. When you get over the fear and you realize the magnitude of it, this is a problem that's never going to go away. Every problem you've ever dealt with your whole life eventually had an ending. This one doesn't. So the question is, when you wake up, are you going to wake up or not? And if you're not, God bless you. Go to Raft Ministries, my Facebook page, and just listen and have an open heart, and let's see what God does as he dances through your soul. And anywhere else you feel led. We don't need anybody that's not being called to be there. But if you are starting to wake up, are you being called to stay in your job, massively increase? Are you being called to stay in your job and do part-time ministry? Are you being called to go into full-time ministry? I don't think you should make a mistake in any one of those. Listen to me about Airbnb, eBay. I don't know. Every place that has revolutionized the world, Uber, that's called innovation. Entrepreneurs are going to innovate. So are ministry people. I am part of launching a worldwide eBay, Uber, you name it, innovative ministry that's going to touch the world. The people that I am aligning with are just amazingly gifted ministries. We are partnering in different ways and not going to go in deep. If you're being called, you need to go over to Raft Ministries, just a Facebook page, and begin to just seek the Lord on your participation or not, but maybe you're being called into your local ministry. Maybe you're being called to revive a church. But can I tell you this? I've been on a call first thing this morning. The underground churches throughout the world are in living rooms. There is populations coming alive with the realities of God at levels the American church doesn't know anything about. The most thriving churches in America are those under persecution. We are going to be a lifeline to the Islamic world. I can't say anything more than that, but I'm telling you it already exists. A lifeline to China. These churches are exploding with the reality of God, and that's what's going to happen in America. We're going to have a revival. You know what? I don't talk Christianese. We're going to have this explosion of living room experiences. This explosion where God shows up in living rooms, 10, 15, 20, 30 people tops per living room, being ushered into the deepest levels of experience with God they've ever had. So listen, I know you can think I'm crazy. I'm all right with that. I got no problem with that this time. Frankly, those of you who have known me 10, 20, 30 years, I've been crazy a few times. This time, I might be screwed up, but I'm on the right boat. And you need to be too. Listen, I don't have a clever way of ending this other than my passion is that you open up your heart, listen to the whispers of God, and it's time to wake up. God bless you, and may God literally protect and be around everybody who's special to you, all your loved ones. Your discernment, your wisdom, your ability to hear God has never been more important.